morning, Peter. Thank you for joining us today. So we've seen that you and Clean TeQ had quite a lot of activity in recent months. And today you issued an operational update where you talk about some of the major projects that you've won and some of your other key priorities. Particularly, you mentioned a sharpened focus on Europe. So can we unpack that a little bit more? And can you give us an overview of why Europe's so important to you?
Hello to you and to all those listening, and thanks for the question. Look, there's a clear shift happening in the market today, and one that we've seen building over time. Europe sits at the centre of this change, and it's at the centre because of the growing water scarcity, tightening regulations, increasing scrutiny on waste, and changing economics around water and resource recovery. There's a strong regulatory and market demand in Europe for advanced solutions in water reuse, nutrient removal, and the recovery of resources. These are all areas where Clean TeQ's moving bed technology gives us a distinct advantage. European industry is actively seeking solutions that deliver both high performance and sustainability. So our technology is built exactly for this kind of challenge. We've spent over 2 decades refining our platform to deliver scalable, low waste, high efficiency solutions where traditional methods fall short. That's why we're focused on sectors where we can deliver both strong economic value and environmental outcomes, and where there's a clear path to repeatable and scalable deployment. We're already progressing opportunities across industrial wastewater, nutrient management, and battery metals in Europe. The pipeline's growing, and our revised strategy positions Clean TeQ to lead by targeting sectors and regions where these market forces are converging.
That's interesting, Peter. So you mentioned there about scalability and environmental outcomes. So what do they both mean, and what does that mean for you and your growth strategy?
Okay, scalability means the technology or solution can be replicated across multiple sites and customers or industries without losing performance or becoming uneconomic. For Clean TeQ, that means targeting widespread challenges like phosphate, sulfate, selenium removal, and also targeting that using our moving bed ion exchange technology in multiple plants, and being able to grow from pilot plant to full scale across multiple sites, creating repeatable rather than one-off projects. From an environmental perspective, it means delivering measurable environmental benefits such as reduced water discharge and improved water reuse, lower chemical use and lower sludge generation, reduced energy consumption compared to conventional technologies, the recovery and reuse of valuable materials such as phosphate, gypsum and metals, and better compliance with tightening environmental regulations such as the EU Water Framework and industrial emissions directives. So in short, we're targeting sectors where both the market is scalable with lots of opportunities and the impact is positive for the environment. This aligns with what our customers and the regulators are seeing in Europe at the moment.
So you also mentioned in the update that you have 3 major projects on at the moment. So are you able to give us a quick overview of what they are and how well they've progressed?
Yes, we have actually got I think 3 flagship projects in progress at the moment, and I'll quickly go through them. So the first one is Heathgate. Heathgate is a company that is extracting uranium from an in-situ leach in Australia, and we've got a $6 million contract to implement our U-column technology at Heathgate. The implementation of this technology marks a major step into uranium and into uranium recovery, and there's potential for scale up both in Australia and globally. The second project I guess I'd like to refer to is a project we have with Enva in Europe, and Enva is using our PhosFix technology for phosphorus recovery. Here we're delivering a $10 million project for the removal of phosphate and its recovery from a wastewater treatment facility in Ireland. This is the first full-scale deployment of PhosFix, and PhosFix is a proprietary Clean TeQ technology that captures and recovers phosphorus as a valuable product. It's probably one of the only technologies globally at the moment that is able to meet the exceptionally low phosphate regulations that are currently in place in Europe. The last one I'd like to talk about is Nearstar. And at Nearstar, we are actually looking at sulfate removal from a smelter wastewater. And in that, we've signed a $1 million agreement to design a complex metallurgical wastewater treatment plant at Nearstar. And following this, we will then move to a $9 million contract for the delivery of that project. So this project and others highlight our agility in adapting our core moving bed technology to new contaminants and sectors, opening up a vast array of possibilities.
So does that then mean that they are strategically significant for you?
I think absolutely is the answer to that one. It opens up a whole range of high-value market segments. So Heathgate positions us in the uranium space, and uranium is already moving in the market, and it will become more significant as we go forward. The driver there is generally the use of data centers, etc., and they're all looking for reliable energy. And reliable energy is going to come from a mix of different energy generators, and one of them is nuclear. In Enva, where we're doing the phosphorus, that is opening up a very new area for us in the phosphate removal. Phosphate is actually, we've come to almost peak phosphate in the world at the moment. And so the recycling of phosphate and it's being able to collect and then put it back into the circular economy of fertilizers, food, wastewater, fertilizers, food, wastewater. That's a really big movement that's happening globally. And in the Nystar gives us a beachhead in industrial wastewater treatment for critical minerals processing. And this is a sector with high complex chemistry and high barriers to entry. But our technology is fulfilling what these customers need. All these demonstrate Clean TeQ's ability to convert pilot successes into commercial contracts and building recurring and scalable opportunities.
So what then does that mean for your financial position? So there are obviously revenues that are expected from all of these projects. Are there opportunities for them to then go on to different and additional phases?
Yes, certainly that's right. FY25, I think it looks as though it's still going to show a loss. However, these projects are going to deliver material revenues and improved margins from FY26 onwards. So just as importantly, they provide long-term reference sites that strengthen our credibility, and they also help build a platform for scalable growth. We've already seen signs of this, and with stronger recognition and with interest in our technology, we're going to see a big growth in this area. So these projects are helping us demonstrate capability and building trust, the key factors in progressing to larger repeatable opportunities.
So speaking more about those repeatable opportunities, has there been anything strategically that you found has come out of working with these partners already?
Yes, but when you have a really good relationship with the partners that you're working with, then you can start to see into their future and what they are looking to achieve over the next 5 to 10 years. And so these companies have already flagged broader applications for uranium, for phosphate, and also for sulfate. So I can see that what's going to happen here is these will be the beachhead projects, but certainly we're expecting a big growth in the phosphate removal sector in Europe, and also in the sulfate area across Europe as well. Once we've established Europe, we will then be looking to other areas globally where these problems still exist. So I think this is a great opportunity for Clean TeQ, and we're looking to grasp it with both hands.
Yeah, all right. So moving on then, recently you put out an announcement on an update on your lithium commercial strategy and your relationship with GoTo Lithium. So what is, in summary, the update there? What is your relationship with GoTo Lithium now?
Okay, so Clean TeQ Water still owns a 60% majority interest in GoTo Lithium. So that joint venture is still there and still well and truly in place and operational. So G2L was formed to commercialise Clean TeQ's proprietary DLE technology, and it still holds the exclusive global license to deploy DLE in lithium brine applications.
Okay, and then it mentioned that there had been a termination to the agreement that you had ongoing with Lithium Bank. So what does that mean and why did that happen?
Right, so that's true. The G2L and Lithium Bank we've mutually agreed to terminate the intellectual property license and technology services agreement. We did that in late May. The decision we made reflects the strategic realignment for both companies, with G2L is now focused on broader portfolio of commercial activities globally, and Lithium Bank's changing its approach amid the prevailing market conditions for lithium, which today are quite depressed. But in the future, there will be a rebound.
So is it safe to say then that the termination of that agreement had nothing to do with the technology or the way it works or the results from the trial, the pilot study that you did in Canada?
No, the DLE demonstration plan conducted by G2L at Lithium Bank's Broadwalk delivered excellent technical outcomes. The 98% plus lithium recovery, 99% impurity removal, eluates exceeding 3,000 milligrams of lithium, and producing a 99.95% battery grade product are all excellent outcomes and meet all the benchmarks in this area. So these results have validated the performance of our DLE and its scalability. So the agreement conclusion was more a strategic move than a technical.
Okay, so do you think that you might have an opportunity to work together again at some point?
Look, that is highly possible. So the termination's amicable and includes a full mutual release of obligations on both parties, and both parties remain open to future collaborations depending on market conditions and strategic fit.
Yeah, so if you've mentioned before about how you're strategically pivoting and obviously Go to Lithium are as well. Do you know anything or do you have any more detail about what their commercial priorities are now?
Look, G2L is actively advancing a pipeline of lithium projects globally, and it has good momentum in other parts of the world at the moment. The DLE demonstration plant is currently being re-established for testing on regional brines, and we will advise the market in due course. G2L's unique global license and strong technical portfolio positions it for rapid commercial development in the future.
So you've mentioned the focus on Europe, you've mentioned the flagship projects that are progressing well, and now this pivot in lithium strategy. What is your current or the company's current outlook for the next 12 months? And what do you think shareholders should be most excited about?
Look, our focus for the next 12 months directly supports the shift we've outlined earlier. So the convergence of regulatory pressure, water scarcity, the growing need for resource recovery. These are all areas where Clean TeQ is uniquely positioned to lead and where our technology and track record gives us a good edge. So to deliver this, we will execute well on project at hand to drive revenue and client trust, convert our growing pipeline, especially in resource recovery and advanced water treatment, and establish global partnerships to leverage our technology into ready-to-accept markets. We believe FY26 will mark a clear financial and commercial turning point for Clean TeQ.
Right, well, thank you for that, Peter. That was really insightful. And thank you for sharing all of those additional details with us. Before we wrap up today, I was just wondering whether or not you had any final messages to share or any other tips you could give us about what to look out for.
Okay, so look, we always like to thank our shareholders for their patience and belief in the long-term value of Clean TeQ. The past year has been about demonstrating our technology. Now it's about scaling, and we're doing it with real projects, real clients, and a clear path to profitability. So I think that our shareholders should look forward to a bright future. So thank you.
Thank you, Peter. Thank you for your time.